Dutch region as well. They were elegant and brave, but also rugged enough to survive in a challenging environment. The king's men chose well. After weeks in the dark, cramped hold of their tiny ship, the horses were driven into the sea to swim ashore or perish. Amazingly, most of the horses not only survived, but thrived in their new land. From just 80 horses sent by King William, the Canadian horse, or Cheval Canadien, reached the Canadian may have had little, but he could be the horse of the people. His compact, muscular body, thick winter coat, rock-hard feet, and willing attitude served him well. He could outwork much bigger horses, pull a sleigh 60 or even 80 miles in a gale or snow, and live on almost anything or almost nothing. His legendary toughness earned him the nickname Petit Cheval or Big Iron Horse. And drew the attention of Americans causing the Civil War, never to return. Americans also used Canadian stallions to learn their own constitutions to our own breeds. Canadian snack can still be seen in the morning, snack bread, and several native breeds. Exported for war, work, and crossbreeding, these horses were lost to Canada forever. In 1889, the Canadian government stepped in to preserve their national treasure. The first breed registry was established, and the exports were shut down. But as time went on, changing fashion and the shift to mechanized farming took further tolls. And by the 1970s, the little iron horse was critically endangered, down to only 400 animals. Finally, a small group of private breeders banded together to give the Canadian horse a safe Canadian horse for distinction. Their hard work paid off. Numbers are more than 6,000 today, and on April 23rd, 2002, the Cheval Canadien was officially declared the national horse of Canada, finally giving him the recognition he so richly deserves. Representing the rich history of the Canadian horse, please welcome the beautiful mayor's Heritage, owned by Ken Horse at Eagle Street, Portland, and goods by Terry now Customs Girl, and Priceless, owned and lived in Strut. Terry Morris, Ken Morris, Heritage has raised 4 foals, competed fencing, and serves as a cavalry horse in various historical reenactments. Accompanying her is Priceless, a 9-year-old mare whose training he must for Dressage. She shows us good things may come in small quantities. Although there are only about 200 Canadian horses in the U.S., they're starting to make a name for themselves in dressage and for preventing. It isn't surprising that new breeds for world territory. Haji and two chestnut geldings owned by Mandy and Shelley Chester of Australia and trained by Bernie Gears of Royal Oregon show the Canadians' aptitude for dressage. Although Haji and they are equally known top numbers of the big boys and delicate. Shelley Chester started working with Haji when she was a green 12-year-old and went on to win 2 district gold medals and a state silver medal at Oregon High School equestrian shows. Haji was awarded his USDF bronze medal last year. Matt is being ridden by junior young rider Maddie Pond of Oswego, Oregon. Matt has earned his USDF recognition certificates through first level and was introduced to Cincinnati's competition last summer. Bernadine says, "I'm fun, how intelligent and trustworthy these horses are. With talented bold riders, they can hold their own against expensive European warm-bloods in the showroom. Yet at home, I can put the greenest, most timid beginners on my back, and these horses are kind and gentle with them." Our youngest dressage horse here today is 6-year-old Calvary. owned by Lynette Hammond and ridden by her 14-year-old daughter, Clara. They have owned Calgary for less than a year, but after only 3 months of training, he's qualified for 4-H state and dressage at training level. He was the last breeding stallion in the Honoreville Elite bloodline for several years. Until 2011, has been a breeding stallion and has never been to a show before. Over the last 9 years, Kurt has sired 23 offspring, including several sons that will carry on his line. He's now back for the 3rd time here at the Expo. Very versatile, folks. Kurt's daughter, Praline, a 9-year-old mare ridden by Jen Cunrath, shows the athleticism, versatility, and temperament that made the little iron horse so beloved to the Canadian people. She drives and rides and has successfully competed in hunter-jumper, dressage, and 3-day eventing. Praline shows that the Canadian can be competitive in the sport horse world while retaining the toughness of his ancestors. Check out Kurt and Praline in the All Breed Challenge. Well, we already had that, so they were already there. Kurt is also on the Rock and Roll Cowgirls drill team that's performing here at the horse fair. The Canadian horse looks like he stepped out of the pages of another century, and in a way he did. But the personality of the Canadian horse is as unique as his looks, if not more so. They are people horses who want to see what you're doing and maybe even help out. There's a saying up north, if you're out mending fence, the Canadian horse will be handing you the tools. Trooper proudly wrote that his Canadian horse was as tame as a dog and afraid of nothing. As a traveler on the Oregon Trail road with their young, good Canadian horse was taught to plunge right into the river, leaving the rest of their herds across. Pioneer could have been talking about Jeff, now owned by Michelle Hefner in Portland, Oregon. Jeff represents the old working bloodline of the Canadian breed. He's done about everything a horse can do, from combined driving to his newest sport of a cowboy dressage. He's also a 10-year-old veteran of Civil War reenactments, where he served as both an artillery horse and officer's mount. And there's no better example of a people's horse than Herr Cayol, as in French detective Hercule Poirot, too much French for me. Owned by Mary Miller and ridden by 8-year-old Rebecca Stevens of Dallas, Oregon. Prior to becoming Rebecca's best friend, Herc has been trained as a trail dressage and driving horse. He's pulled a stagecoach in the Grand Floral Parade, and once even carried an embedded newscaster who he didn't even get to meet until the reporter hopped on at the beginning of the parade. He carried that reporter safely through, and likewise he takes the responsibility of carrying Rebecca very seriously. In this ever more uncertain world, maybe it's time to get back to some old-fashioned values, to a time when horses were honest, hard-working, and self-reliant. If you want a horse that's classy and stylish, but also rugged and willing, a horse your whole family can enjoy and love, the Canadian horse is for you. We invite you to stop by after our demo and have one of our horses